Today I'm going to talk about the Trimui 2nd Gen. The official name for this Trimui 2nd Gen is the Trimui Smart Pro S version. Honestly, I feel this handheld console is more like a plus version of the Trimui. Strictly speaking, you can't really call it a second generation because its performance improvements are quite limited. For example, compared to the first generation, this second generation Trimui now features an air intake and an exhaust vent, allowing for active cooling. The first gen often got hot here, around 40 to 50 degrees Celsius, a bit hot to touch. This spot, however, stays normal. So, they've improved this area, but when I'm playing, this spot still gets a little warm, slightly hot, but it's not as bad as before. So, it's still a very good improvement, a really great improvement actually. This time the Trimui Smart Pro S version has broadened the button pads, making them feel much more comfortable and natural to press. And the system is still the first generation. As you can see, it now has an upgraded TMR joystick, which is pressable. The first generation wasn't. I think the joystick's a tad bigger than the first generation's, making it more comfortable. Furthermore, this time around, a restart button has been added to the bottom, and a function callout center is now at the top. With a single press of this button, you can instantly bring up the control center. This allows for real-time adjustments of volume levels, backlight brightness, and even the fan speed. By pressing it again, it will vanish, making it a truly convenient and quick access operation. And compared to other aspects, the chip is quite significant. This time it adopts the Allwinner A523 chip. As you all know, the first generation of our Trimui utilized the A13 Plus chip. They claim a 2.5 times performance boost this time, but I feel it's a bit understated. If it were truly 2.5 times, playing PSP games at 2 times resolution would be flawless. But let me demonstrate for you now. For example, let's consider the PSP game God of War. At 1x resolution, you'll experience a stable 60 frames per second. However, at 2x resolution, let me show you my backend parameters. With 2x resolution on the PSP, while playing God of War, the frame rate will occasionally drop. For instance, it's currently at a full 60 frames per second, right? However, during intense combat, the frame rate might fluctuate, displaying around the low 50s, sometimes dropping to 53 or 54 frames per second, other times reaching 57, and occasionally hitting 60. So it generally stays above 50 frames per second, often touching 60. So overall, if you want to play God of War perfectly at 2x resolution, it's still a bit of a letdown. So let me give you a detailed look at the monster slaying combat process right now. Now it's at 59 frames per second, then 55. It sometimes dips to about 53 frames per second. Now it's 60. It's just not consistently 60 frames per second. However, if you're primarily a PSP gamer and the occasional God of War issue isn't a deal breaker, then this device can essentially be a perfectly viable alternative to the PSP. Wouldn't you agree? This handheld screen has a 16:9 aspect ratio at 4.96 inches, nearly 5 inches. So it's primarily designed for playing PSP games. Other classic games, such as those from the PS1 or even the Sega Saturn, can also be run on this device with relative ease. It also comes preloaded with some easily playable games such as Xiaoqiupai and Diablo, which run with remarkable smoothness. Of course, the first generation model had a Bilibili function, and the second generation still has it, so you can watch Bilibili. All in all, I really don't think this upgraded Trimui 2nd Gen can truly be considered a full second generation. I genuinely believe it would be more accurate to refer to it as a plus version. Think of it like buying an iPhone 6, and then this is simply the iPhone 6s iteration. If they decide to iterate further in the future, I sincerely hope they will release a complete and fully realized second gen. Wouldn't you agree? This is a truly improved version, allowing you to seamlessly and smoothly play PSP games without any trouble at all. And the reason for that is, I've heard through some internal sources, directly from the person in charge, that this Trimui device will soon be releasing an Android version. Understand? It will allow for fully fluid PSP gaming without any pressure. There will be a vertical Android version too. Compared to the first generation, this Trimui handheld console has 3 new colors. The new color schemes are quite nice. This green one is a personal favorite of mine. It has a very premium feel. Then there's also this red color, and another one here that's yellow. The first generation was only black, white, and gray. The second generation adds 3 more color schemes which have a great feel. If you're truly dedicated to playing PSP games and aren't really fond of Android handhelds, meaning you're not interested in downloading apps, watching movies, or listening to music, as your phone already covers those, and you simply want to quietly enjoy some gaming, and perhaps you're keen on the Linux system and appreciate its straightforward operation, then this is definitely for you, wouldn't you say? If you want to just turn it on and play, I suggest you get this Trimui 2nd Gen. It's perfectly fine. Alright, so this time, I'm just going to briefly share my personal user experience with all of you, giving you an overview of how I found it. My fellow gamers who love playing PSP games should consider this Trimui Smart Pro S version.